this man. And John Smucker is here with Shoofly Pie, direct from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Nice to have you here, sir.
Nice to be here, David.
A pleasure. Now, you're getting 2 9-inch pies, or 8-inch pies, I should say, and they are famous homemade Shoofly pies. You stop at any street stand in Lancaster County, and you can find Shoofly pie, but yours is different.
Ours is very different.
Yours is a wet bottom pie. Tell me about that.
The wet bottom pie is what makes this pie sweet, gooey, rich, and smooth. This is different than a dry bottom Shoofly pie. Dry bottom Shoofly pie is flavorless, more flavorless. It's more dry, and but the wet bottom is a pie that gives us a great taste and moist and rich flavor.
And you don't use molasses in your Shoofly pie because that's more traditional, but you use a light table syrup.
We use a light table syrup instead of molasses. Over the years, as the recipe developed, we took the molasses out because the molasses has more of a
sweetness,
I would say
or a heavy sweetness.
A molasses has more of a strong aftertaste.
Okay. Now, there's also a pastry crust on this, and you've got a streusel topping, is that right?
We have a crumb topping.
Or crumb topping.
Yeah.
Now, this is very traditional, but it's a wet bottom pie, and these come to us fully baked, is that right?
That's correct.
Ready to go?
They will be baked fresh next week and shipped out as a fresh pie.
And they're sweet to be sure, but not too sweet. And I love that crumb topping. That crumb topping is nice.
So can I show you how we make a pie,
Please,
David?
of course.
Okay. So
we have a pastry crust.
we have a pastry crust, and really any great pie has to have a great crust.
Right.
So our recipe, which is a special recipe for the crust, and one little secret that we put in this, and I'll just reveal that on QVC, is that you need to use a soft, specially formulated winter wheat flour.
Okay.
Which makes this pie crust a very flaky and buttery crust.
All right.
So I'll just show you, how flaky and buttery this is. When I break this crust,
Oh my.
you can see how that flakes and breaks like that. And then the next step is the molasses, the light table syrup, the goo in the pie.
All right.
Is what makes this a wet bottom pie. So we fill our pies with this light table syrup and goo.
And then you top it with the
And
crumb
the
topping?
the next step is the crumb topping.
And then, of course, this bakes in the oven. And traditional Shoofly pie from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, very traditional and very lovely. Now, most people find this at either a store like yours, or they find it at a roadside stand or a farmer's market, yes?
Yeah, this pie is really indigenous to Lancaster County. So you can buy it at our bakery, at our restaurant. You can buy it at our farmers markets. And so that's basically, it's pretty indigenous to Lancaster County.
And what makes it different is that light table syrup. This is not a molasses-based filling. So you're left with something that is sweet to be sure, but not overly sweet and does have that weird aftertaste.
That's correct. It has a smooth, rich aftertaste that makes this pie really quite famous.
Let's put a fork through that because I think a lot of people are wondering about the consistency. This is sort of like pecan. If you've never had Shoofly pie, it's kind of like pecan pie without the nuts. This, but it is a different consistency because it is very soft, and that streusel or that crumb topping makes it so nice. Oh, wow. Now, 2 of these 8-inch pies come in your order, and these will be fully baked and ready to go, is that right?
They'll be fully baked, ready to go.
How do you suggest storing them?
Well, this pie, as it comes to you, it'll come to you as a fresh pie. If you're going to eat it soon, within the next day or two, then, it doesn't need refrigeration. You can just set it out on your shelf. If you want to save it till later, I would suggest you freeze it. The pie freezes very well.
Now, we have 2 ship weeks. We have the immediate ship, and we have April 7th. April 7th is very popular and a bit more limited. That's still before Easter. I think Easter is later in April.
Correct.
I think it's the 20th this year. So a great opportunity for you to have this for your springtime gathering when you've got people over to the house. This is a lovely dessert, and it's already made for you. If I could take dessert making off your to-do list, would that help you? Would that free you up to do other things this holiday season? Yeah, this is a lovely product.
Thank you.
And you're left with something that is very soft, very, very perfect for all of you who love Shoofly pie. But if you have steered away from it because it's too sweet, this is made with a light table syrup, so it's a little different.
Well, the light table syrup makes it a smooth, rich aftertaste, as opposed to molasses, which has a more of a strong aftertaste.
And you're going to find that it's a very balanced pie. This is a lovely product. Please don't wait on this. We have it in the immediate ship as well as the April 7th, but there is no auto delivery, so stock up on these.
That's correct.
And you can freeze them, yes?
Correct. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of these pies in terms of how it came to be in this recipe in our family business. So our family business goes back over 50 years, and actually I'm the 4th generation family member of our business in Bird in Hand. My great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother were premier pie bakers. They were known far and wide for their delicious pies, and since now we've had this pie in our bakery and our restaurant, people drive for miles and hundreds of miles to come experience the taste of this pie.
Yeah.
And so there's been a lot of work and adjustment and tweaking put into this pie over the last 100 years. And so we bring all that to you, and we bring to you this good, tasty pie that has a rich aftertaste.
Which has a very lovely aftertaste, and not like molasses, which is a little stronger. John, it's good to have you here, sir.
Yes.
Nice to work with you, and thank you for the pie. Now, we also have Funky Chunky coming up in our show, and I know a lot of you are going to be excited about this.